Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. I'm happy to be with you, and I'm so pleased that we've found a way to connect, even though we are not able to gather physically together. I'm Stacy Walthers-Naffah. Many of you know me as the president of William K. Walthers Incorporated, or Walthers Trains in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Many of you may not know me at all. I'm a proud fourth-generation family member leading my 89-year-old family business that produces, distributes, and sells model railroad products to hobby shops, retailers, and individuals in North America and all over the globe. I follow proudly in the footsteps of my father, grandfather, and great-grandfather in this role. I'm also the president of the world's greatest hobby organization, or WGH, a 501c3 educational nonprofit organization, and sponsor of this wonderful virtual show event we are all participating in today. WGH is dedicated to creating new model railroaders and supporting those who are already aboard with information, resources, and ways to connect with one another. WGH is supported not only by me and my company, but several other leading companies in our industry, also committed to making sure we can make this hobby strong and enjoyed by as many as possible today and well into the future. I would like to take the next 10 minutes or so to talk to you about something I am passionate about, STEM or STEAM education, and its connection with model railroading. This may be a new term to some of you, and those of you who are aware might be wondering what exactly model railroading could possibly have to do with it. My hope is that whatever your level of awareness, you'll be able to come away with a greater appreciation for the connection and the significant value and opportunity model railroading brings to the concept of STEAM education. In the next few minutes, we'll cover three areas. 1. STEM and STEAM, a quick summary of these acronyms and why they matter to us as a community in model railroading and beyond. 2. An example of a great program demonstrating model railroading's impact in action with teens, sponsored by the world's greatest hobby organization. And finally, 3. Key takeaways and a call to action to supercharge the potential impact of our hobby on STEAM principles. So, let's start with STEM or STEAM. What are these acronyms? Why do they matter? And how does model railroading fit in? STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And STEAM adds an A for arts. Both are formally recognized educational terms with many different methods for teaching the skills associated. STEM and STEAM have been recognized both in white papers and published articles as critical for our ability to meet the needs and challenges of today and the future. As a 2020 Forbes article states, and I quote, "We are at the beginning of a fourth industrial revolution, and educators are faced with preparing a generation of students for many jobs that don't even exist yet. Since the term STEM was coined back in 2001, there has been a growing interest in the learning philosophy to better prepare today's students for tomorrow's jobs. However, to adequately prepare the future workforce, another acronym is gaining popularity, STEAM, which adds arts to the mix. Since jobs in the real world draw upon several disciplines at once, STEM does the same with science, technology, engineering, and math. STEAM incorporates the benefits of STEM in and through the arts to give a more complete, well-rounded education. Although some feel this distinction is unnecessary, given regular STEM incorporates creativity, leaders of the STEAM movement feel that the arts provides a critical missing piece to STEM education that prepares students to not only understand science, technology, engineering, and math, but know how to apply these principles from each of these disciplines to creatively solve problems." End quote. So while I am personally not an educator, I'd like to make the bold statement that our hobby may be one of the best platforms, if not the best, for this type of experiential learning. And I would offer there are even more letters we could add to the acronym, which makes it not only the best, but makes it truly great. A little messy of an acronym, though. So, how exactly does model railroading fit in? How can I make such a bold statement? Although there are many, many points to be made, let me explain by sharing a few practical examples for each of the key learnings in the STEAM acronym in order to illustrate the point broadly. So, S for science. Science itself is a broad term, and model railroading allows for broad interpretation and teaching. If you consider the prototypes of the trains themselves, an opportunity exists to teach how real trains work. By exploring how steam or diesel engines operate, we learn how these engines propel such large machines carrying extremely large loads and how these principles translate into scale models. So T for technology. While model railroading has been around for a long time, it's not as stodgy or as old as some make it out to be. Technology has played a key role since the beginning of the hobby and the beginning of my company when my great-grandfather, an electrical engineer by training, introduced his electrical signal and control manual and products. Fast forward today, we've got and we've had DCC, or Digital Command and Control, and many other smart innovations and technologies that are being incorporated by users and by manufacturers to support the enjoyment of the hobby, with new ones arriving every year. So E for engineering. Obviously, many will think of the role of a train engineer on a railroad, and there is plenty to learn there. But beyond that, a wide variety of engineering skills and engineering disciplines are represented in the creation of an operating layout. Electrical, mechanical, civil, all trying to make little worlds work like the big one. Arts. It's all about making your little world look real. From creatively planning your layout through the application of scenery, structures, and other details, making a river realistically portray rapids, sculpting rock like an outcropping begging to be climbed, planting a farm field at the moment of harvest, and forging an industrial setting so real you can almost smell the grit. These are wildly creative endeavors, and there are unlimited artistic applications. Model railroaders really are some of the most creative people I know, and oddly enough, they rarely describe themselves as artists. And M for mathematics. One word, scale. Countless things can be learned by scaling things up and down. Understanding the degree of a tolerance of a curved track, the acceptable rate of elevation and load limits, all require an element of mathematics to solve. And there are some few bonus letters I said I'd add at the end for good measure. H for history. Many hobbyists spend as much time or more learning about the history of the subject matter on their layouts as they do building the layouts themselves. The railroad equipment, the geographic locations, the time periods, the cities, the industries and landscapes represented all provide rich learning opportunities. And finally, I'll add a double S for soft skills. Collaboration, teamwork, planning, compromise, leaning on and learning from others with different abilities. These are lifelong skills that develop when people work together to create a layout. So for all those reasons, I stand behind my assertion that we just may be the best platform to fully teach STEAM, found all in one place, with some bonus stuff too. So, Stacy, what are you doing about it? The second thing I promised I'd share with you is an example of a great program sponsored by the world's greatest hobby organization, a program of which I am very proud. So we enlisted help from the team at Discovery World Science Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to create a curriculum supportive of STEAM in action. They created and we executed a week-long summer camp for teens in the summer of 2019 at Discovery World. The program encouraged teens to build their own city, using the products, tools, and learnings from model railroading, immersing the campers in STEAM concepts in a hands-on way. I'm pleased to report it was a great success for the campers, the educators, and the Discovery World team. And finally, I want to share the key takeaways and a call to action to supercharge the potential impact of STEAM on our future leaders and learners. First, model railroading may be one of the best, if not the best, platforms to teach real-world applications of STEAM to kids or adults. That's my first takeaway. The second one is our hobby offers everything required to teach STEAM principles, and once initiated, it can be self-directed at one's own pace. It can also be a powerful tool for educators, in and outside the classroom. And third, I am proud to be working together with others in the model railroad industry to help guide this effort and make available camps and programs to youth groups to mirror what was accomplished with Discovery World. It's my hope that WGH, my own company, and others will continue working to expand awareness of our hobby's potential for positive impact and build upon the momentum of the spark that we've lit. So what can you do? Here's the call to action part. Learn more about STEAM. If you are not already aware, it's a great initiative in education, one that can help teach valuable concepts that have tangible, real-world application that can benefit us all. Not only that, the STEAM movement is beneficial for the long-term health of our hobby. If you feel compelled, you can be an advocate for the hobby and spread the word. Introduce it to your school, consider helping to organize an after-school club, or simply share your knowledge and thoughts with others. For someone who may not be interested in our hobby, this is a great opportunity to present it in this new and different way. And if you're an educator and are curious to explore this further, get in contact with us and share your thoughts on how you see this working in your classroom. We truly are happy to explore this together. And finally, if you're involved with your local science center or think they might be interested in our WGH Summer Camp program, let us know. Information on how to connect will be provided at the end of this video. So thank you so much for your time and for your attention. As I hope you can tell, I'm passionate about this topic and see the benefit for many, both inside and outside of our hobby. As a leader of my family's business, following in the footsteps of 3 generations before me, as the daughter of a mechanical engineer and an educator, and the mother of 2 teenagers, I couldn't be prouder to advocate for this important connection our hobby can make with today's curious learners. So I'd like to leave you with 2 things. A preview of a video that will soon be shared with media nationwide in an effort to start a dialogue on how model railroading can benefit our youth through STEM and STEAM learning. And this simple question: what isn't possible through the lessons you can learn playing with trains? Take care, be well, and happy modeling. I have a real passion for education. I absolutely love kids. My mom was an educator throughout my entire life. I was a camp counselor. I really enjoy the act of teaching and learning.
Students really need to connect with a topic outside of the classroom in order to have a lifelong passion for that topic.
I think a curious mind is just one of the greatest gifts that you can give. So if we can keep building creativity and curiosity and encouraging that, that is just a worthwhile thing to do.
That's what's cool from a teacher's perspective, because the kids are getting engaged, they're hands-on, and they start seeing how the world works in this model railroad, and it makes them ask questions, and the light bulbs are going off, and they want to know more, and that's what you want as a teacher.
I think it's just a different way to teach something, exposing kids to something they may not ever see outside of the classroom even.
We've partnered with other organizations like Discovery World, our science center here in Milwaukee, and with other companies within our industry who are part of the World's Greatest Hobby organization to create a summer camp.
How much fun can you have at the same time learning and understanding that there's the problem solving that involves, all kinds of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and you gotta love that with model railroading.
Getting students to understand STEM in their everyday life and in their everyday world, but then also getting them excited about it through a hobby is such a great way to guarantee that they will study it for years to come, but also just be excited about it. It wasn't until we really started working together that I really understood the math and how ratio plays such an important aspect of model railroading, and the circuitry involved, and needing to understand electronics to be able to make your trains go and to wire up the track.
The idea of science and technology, engineering, arts and mathematics, you got in the STEAM world, you have to figure out a little bit about all of that to make the world come alive with model trains. And I think that's what's cool.
So if you learn how to do something simple, and then the next phase, you learn something a little more difficult, and then the next phase, you add on to that, and you may tear the entire thing back down and start over again, but you never lose what you've learned before, and you just literally build on it.
There's so much of STEAM in model railroading that it was very easy for us to connect what we do with their mission.
Because at the end of the day, we really do believe that we sell fun. And the neat part is that the fun is also learning. And I think when kids are having fun and learning together, that's a real magic combination.